What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Wonder Woman 1984. This, of course, brings back Patty Jenkins as the director, and Gal Gadot is, of course, Wonder Woman. Now, before we begin, hey, if you like this channel, awesome, hit that subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, and comment below on any video to watch, including this one. So, this movie, Wonder Woman 1984, everybody's excited for it. Everybody wants to see it. It's been pushed back several times. Now it's coming out on Christmas Day on both HBO Max and, of course, theaters. And it's a movie that, as I talk about it and give my review, I am going to be spoiler-free as possible. I will not give anything major away. And when this movie actually releases, I will have a spoiler-filled review come out for it. But in the kind of shortest terms to talk about this movie, Wonder Woman 1984 is basically about how Diana Prince, Wonder Woman herself, is dealing with the fact that Steve Trevor is no longer there, how she's handling the past, 30, 40 years that, since World War II. And she is typical Wonder Woman. She's saving the day, so on and so forth. We have, of course, Kristen Wiig's character, who comes in as a new employee for the Smithsonian Center where Diana Prince is. And she's kind of, the Electra of this movie, where she is a very frumpy, very nerdy individual that doesn't gets very looked down upon. And we know her character. She plays Cheetah and so on and so forth. It's in the trailer. I'm not spoiling anything. And then we, of course, have Maxwell Lord, who, of course, is played by the Mandalorian himself, Pedro Pascal. And which is really funny because I'm watching this movie and I'm going, at what point is Pedro Pascal going to put on a helmet? Because he literally is in this movie. He has no mustache. He is very chewing scenery. He is a very over-the-top villain. But he has a specific plan in this movie. He has a specific reason why he's in this movie. And he is wanting to gain power, which is his whole representation in the trailer. He wants power and more power. But how he wants that power, how he's going to try and get that power, I can't talk about because it would make a spoiler-filled review. So, in the process, Steve Trevor comes back. He's played by Chris Pine. Once again, no spoilers because the whole idea of why he comes back is an interesting one, but it would spoil the whole idea of what this movie's pertaining. Now, with that said, Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor have to stop Maxwell Lord, have to stop, the Kristen Wiig Cheetah character, and we see some really cool visuals, and we see some really interesting ideas, and what you really want to know is does this movie improve upon Wonder Woman, which had a terrible third act? And with that said, like I said, you're wondering if I like the movie, and I absolutely love the movie. It's a great movie. It still has third act problems. It still has weird character moments. There are points in this movie where I'm like, this movie is very strange. It's very plotted weird. The stuff with Steve Trevor gets a little strange. The stuff with Kristen Wiig gets a little strange. Like I said, Maxwell Lord's character, the Pedro Pascal character, is very kind of B-level character. He's a very over-the-top villain. But it all kind of gels together because it's a very 80s style movie. This movie, if you want to boil it in a nutshell, is very similar to something like the original Superman with Gene Hackman, of course, Christopher Reeve, and so on and so forth, Margot Kidder, where the villain, Maxwell Lord's character, is very similar to what a character like Lex Luthor is trying to do in that movie, where it's just a very power grab type character. And the way he's playing it, the over-the-top silliness of his character really kind of shows how Patty Jenkins really loves that original Superman movie, or even Superman 2, where she's just having fun playing with the time frame that she's given, which is 1984, the whole fashion sense and so on and so forth. So even though Maxwell Lord's character is not the most well-written character in the movie, he is having fun. Pedro Pascal is having fun. He's definitely different than what he does in like The Mandalorian. He's more kind of close to what he played in like The Kingsman, I think it was like Golden Circle or something like that. So I really like what Pedro Pascal is doing in this movie. And on top of that, to see like the suits and stuff like that, to see like the very, just the costumes he wears. He wears the same suit pretty much the whole entire movie. To watch the kind of things he does and so on and so forth. It's a very 80s style look of a film. And then, like I said, Kristen Wiig comes in and she's playing the Cheetah villain character. If you don't know this by not watching the trailers, I apologize, but she is playing Cheetah. And she is a very inspired choice. It's something that Kristen Wiig, her mannerisms in the beginning of this movie are very Kristen Wiig. But as her character kind of starts to morph into the villain that we see through the movie, she becomes something that Kristen Wiig is not known for doing. Yes, she did like the skeleton twins and stuff like that, where she did a very darkish style comedy. But here she is playing a straight up villain, a straight up, kind of nerdy individual who gets picked on. And it's a very interesting role. And it's, like I said, a very inspired choice from Patty Jenkins and the writers and the director and the producers and stuff like that. And I really like her character. I think her character has some problems as the movie kind of moves to the last act. And you see that as the movie portrays. There's certain things that she does that just kind of seems to come out of nowhere and stuff like that. So it's a really kind of strange thing to watch. But then you go to like Steve Trevor and stuff like that, and I can't give anything away because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but his character and how he kind of comes into the film, because you're wondering like, how did they bring Chris Pine back and how did they bring him into this movie? The way the movie plays out, it's actually quite interesting, quite fantastical and stuff like that. And it's very kind of okay, then that's kind of cool. Does it make a lot of sense? Not really, but the ideas of what this movie's trying to do it's a lot of fun. Chris Pine's having a lot of fun in this movie. How he interacts with the world of 1984 is really humorous, stuff like that, because the last time we saw him was in World War II. So how he like interacts with the world and just portrays like the wide-eyed stares of everything that's happening in the 1980s it's quite entertaining. He's probably one of the funnier parts about this movie. And then of course we have Wonder Woman herself, Diana Prince, which is Gal Gadot, and she is always the consistent actress in the movie. She's always the consistent character. I think between her and Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck, I think she's been always the strongest character. They do some things with her in this movie which are a little goofy, don't necessarily fit into like a cohesive narrative, but I think overall, I think what Gal Gadot has been given, how she has worked with Patty Jenkins, is a really kind of fascinating character or fascinating actress director kind of mashup that we don't get a lot. We get a lot of like the Scorsese's and DiCaprio's, but it's nice to see Gadot and Jenkins kind of being able to kind of craft and mold their own characters. And it's just a really kind of fun pairing duo that has really represented itself very, very well. And it's nice to see Patty Jenkins get a bigger budget, get a bigger script, get a bigger kind of, she's given more kind of freedom to do what she wants. And we're giving some cool stuff that is, close to the Wonder Woman lore, so which is really fun. And I also say this, the visual work, even Cheetah herself, is much, much better than it was in Wonder Woman. The whole Hades thing in Wonder Woman was awful. The whole third act is awful. The visuals are really well done. You can tell Patty Jenkins as a director has really kind of gone into her own. She's gotten much more confident, much more secure in how she's going to portray this world. And this movie kind of made me excited because there, as you see from the trailer, there's a couple flight sequences, and to see her kind of taking on Rogue Squadron and what she's going to do with that movie, watching how her handle the green screen effects and the visual world, the fact that it's going to be really cool if they use the volume, which was what they used in The Mandalorian to have the background for Rogue Squadron. I think it'll give her a much more good sense about how she can control the world that's around her. And I just think Patty Jenkins, she's doing a wonderful job with this character. She's really giving us a character. There's a scene in the early portion of this movie that is just a wonderful take on how important she is as a character for young girls and stuff like that. And it's just the overall feel of this movie, the fact that it feels very, very 80-ish, the fact that it feels very, very much like that Superman 2 vibe, the fact that, they play off the kind of insane nature of what the 80s were like, the kind of nature of the clothing, the nature of the world itself. I think it's a fun movie. I think it's an entertaining movie. I think my main problem is always just the third act where it completely kind of starts falling apart, but it's not on the levels of what happened in Wonder Woman with Hades and stuff like that. It's a much more confident, much more idealistic, much more interesting kind of material of a project. And I got to give it to Patty Jenkins for just kind of knocking it out of the park. It's a lot of fun. It's silly. It's entertaining. And it's there was a reason it was like number 2 on my most anticipated for 2020 before everything collapsed upon itself. So, but with that said, it's a very enjoyable film, very exciting. It's a hell of a fun project to watch, especially in 2020 when it's been such a dour year. It's one of those films that we need right now. So I can definitely say it's a highly recommended movie. It's definitely a step up from the original movie, and it has a lot of fun with this material. So, but that'll do it. That'll be my take on Wonder Woman 1984. Thank you so much for anybody who does watch this review. I know a lot of people are kind of holding out till they actually see the movie. But let me know in the comments below what you are anticipating about Wonder Woman 1984. What is the thing that's making you most excited about it? What's your favorite part about, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, all that good stuff. But otherwise, if you like what you see on my channel, of course, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. If you like what you see on this video, awesome. Hit that like button, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.